most wives are like, I don't like that Lee Priest. He's a fucking rude cunt. He uses the word cunt all the time.
One of my girlfriend loves you. She'd sit right here beside me if she could.
Yeah.
Well, get your girlfriends in on the
Is that Greg?
podcast. Put them on the side there.
Yeah.
We woman's point of view.
Am
When
I
we get
in?
Oh,
into the,
yes, we have you.
You're in.
I don't know what's
look at
wrong with
Greg.
my
How long you been
Safari, but
doing
like
this
I
for,
sent
Greg?
this in a chat and disappeared. So hopefully it works.
Oh
I don't know.
man,
I don't know what I did or didn't do.
I was
Safari
sweating
doesn't work.
bullets.
I knew it wasn't going to work. I was like, "There's no way this is going to work." I don't know how to use technology. If my staff isn't here, I don't know what to do. But
It's like,
I just literally
Greg, just
sent
turn the
Vince
phone
the link.
sideways. Turn
Oh,
it
we got to do it this
sideways.
way.
that's
There we go.
yeah. You fill the
Maybe
screen
I'll
up
go
that
in my
way.
YouTube room so the audio will sound a bit better. Okay.
Yeah, you're fine. Oh, yeah, man, I was sitting there sweating. I was like, oh no, but we're good.
Oh, I knew it was going to happen. That's why I started like 30 minutes early
Yeah,
to get
thanks.
ready.
Appreciate.
Oh.
All right, the
Canadian.
last guy's coming on.
Justin Trudeau's in charge of the internet.
Let me see
Yeah,
where I can
Briggs.
put it.
I don't know how to work technology either.
No one's as bad as me.
I don't know. That's why I don't use my YouTube, because I got no idea how to edit, how to do anything. I just go live, I post it, and then I get banned and in trouble.
I have 4 editors and I do no editing. I recorded 4 videos today alone, but I don't do any of the editing.
Wow.
Lucky you.
Well, you just hire the right amount of people and you can do it. I have 17 employees in all, so I hardly do anything. I just find content and record videos.
That's the way to do it if you're going to do it. That's
Yeah.
why you put out so many videos every day.
Yeah, you got
You
to.
don't.
Well, the biggest one is the Tren Twins today. They're tearing their pec last night.
I saw that. I saw someone one of them tore their pec, didn't they? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Benching a crazy weight,
I don't get
585.
I don't get why people still do that with the bench. It's like if you're going to do bodybuilding, do bodybuilding. Why try go for singles? What the fuck? It's like
I know,
Yeah,
especially when you're abusing a shit ton of gear and bragging about it and promoting it to everyone, making it look so cool. And then you go do this, and then people are shitting on me for making a video about it. I'm like, obviously, I'm going to make a video about it. We've got 1 million, 2 million fans watching the Tren Twins. They're going to be like, yeah, maybe I shouldn't do stupid shit like that anymore. And they might learn a thing or two.
Yeah, it's like they're just giving you gold, man. It's like
Yeah.
I mean, it's sad. I was coaching them and warning them, don't train like this. And then they fired me, hired someone else, and they're like, oh, Greg sucks. But meanwhile, if they would have listened to me, how much better off would they be?
you get that. We should discuss that on the program, because I don't get that, because I know Fuad did it and these people do it. It's like, well, I know like so many pros or even people who go from coach to coach to coach to coach, thinking this coach must know something this one doesn't know. So I'm going to try this one and this one and this one. And they generally look the same with every coach, but they think this one knows the secret. He's going to give me the right cycle, the right carb and protein combination. It's like, if you haven't got it, you haven't got it. No coach is going to give it to you. A coach might motivate you and
Yeah.
help you a little bit, but if you don't have it genetically and you don't have it up here and shit, it doesn't matter what your coaches does.
Yeah, and it's like you're saying, it's up here. That's what's most important. The guys, you have to be able to diet. You have to be able to suffer, to go through the torture of dieting for a show. Guy like Mike Israetel, he can't suffer. He gets down to 6% body fat. He thinks he's show ready, and he doesn't get a friggin' pro card because he blames it on his tan being not good enough.
And that, and when I watched other stuff too, and I don't get with him, but even lots of other people. I used Tren 4 times my whole career. The last time I used it, when I put it in my shoulder, I thought, this is the end. My chest got that tight. I couldn't breathe. I didn't even cough. I'm just like, and the pain in my chest, I got a needle hanging out my arm. I'm like, this is how it ends. I never used it
I've
since.
had the
But then
Tren cough many times. It's
this
bad.
wasn't even the cough. This was just pain and trying to breathe. And then all these young kids, I can't sleep. I get irritable. You listen to Mike talk about it. I'm like, why do you take something that makes you feel so bad then? Why are you fucking using it? It's like
because everyone else is doing it, right? It's popular, right? They got
Well,
all these.
because the Tren Twins are called
Exactly,
the
they
Tren
got the
Twins. They wear a
influencers.
Tren Tech shirt. You know, it's glorified. I watch their videos and I want to use Tren again.
Yeah, it makes it look fun. Yep.
I watch Greg videos, and I never knew who Eubanks was or Togi was and all that. But when I watch your videos on them, it makes me want to turn gay and go suck a dick because they look very gay.
Hey everybody, sorry for the interruption. Just here to do a little bit of housekeeping. Just here to remind everybody to like, subscribe, share, and comment on this video and all the others. We're a brand new channel, we're just getting started, and we want to bring some awesome content to you with some amateur bodybuilding and some pros. So the more you support us, the more awesome shows that we can keep coming and keep bringing on to you. Also, this show is not brought to you by Mutant, but I am. So if you want to support me and that also supports the show, go to iammutant.ca and use my code JoshuaT. Grab some awesome supplements and some apparel. We got a brand new drop coming, and it's gonna be sick. You're gonna want to keep your eyes out for this. So thanks a lot, and enjoy the show. Peace.
On them, it makes me want to turn gay and go suck a dick because they look very gay.
Oh my goodness!
They're very feminine type. Like, you know.
Well, it's the generation of X, the X generation, XYZ, whatever they're called these days. It's just a different time.
I did watch that one you did on Togi when he was overseas or something, and he's calling you out and stuff. And I'm thinking, who is this guy? He's on holidays and he's talking shit. I'm like, what the fuck? Who is he? What's he on about? I'm like, what the fuck?
You guys probably met before Lee and Greg, right? Lots of times.
Only in passing, really. No, because I saw him at the Art of Plastic real quick. It went past, went hi, and then I'm like, oh, I didn't get time to talk. I just went, oh, hi, bye.
We're so busy, but no, we've never actually sat and had a good conversation ever. This is the first time.
Oh, well.
Oh, really?
Nice.
Cool.
Exciting.
Well,
Thanks.
I think people think from past videos because we've always had like little things to say that we hate each other, but I've always been like, I don't have a problem with Greg. Actually, I like Greg's videos. Like the titles people get mad at, but it's like if you actually watch Greg's videos, after the first couple of minutes, he makes a lot of sense. Yes, you have a clickbait title and he might say something in the beginning, but when you watch all the Greg's videos, you're like, well, what he's saying is true, but I don't think people get past the first 2 minutes and they're like, fuck Greg, he's talking shit, fuck that.
That's usually
Most people don't watch the video and they just go right to the comment section based on the title and the thumbnail, which I don't even make. I hire people to do that. I'm like, go for it. Go do whatever you need to do to get the views. And so you put whatever clickbait title, and I just do my talks, and I get shit on for being a bad person.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny though? How many times do you see it? When I did like the videos for Dave and that, it's the same people. Oh, Lee's talking shit. I fucking hate him. Blah blah blah. But I'm like, you're on every video watching it. If you hate me so bad, why do you watch the shit I say? Because I just talk shit. So why even fucking pay attention to me?
Yeah.
No, 100% true. And like I bet, like you said, most people don't even get through the first couple minutes without making a comment, right? If you probably look at the algorithm and where people are doing that, it's probably before you even get to your point. So it's it's silly.
Or the ones that write the whole. I'm sure Greg gets them too. You know, they have an opinion, but sometimes their opinion would be like, you got to keep scrolling to read their thing. I'm thinking, you're either a psychopath or you got too much time on your hands to think I'm going to read all this shit. It's like they write a whole history of how bad you are. You don't know what you're doing. Blah 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 blah. I'm like, really, mate? Go find a girlfriend or beat off. It's like, you know, you need help.
Yeah, take that out somewhere else. But yeah, no, Greg, I really appreciate you coming on. I know we've tried to get you on before, but you've been so busy traveling a lot and just with shows and your own show. So really appreciate it. And Lee, I appreciate
I can't even travel to the U.S. again.
Yeah,
I'm
like
waiting for my permission to travel again. I had a 1-year permission thing, and I applied 7.5 months ago for a 5-year permission to travel to the States, and I'm just sitting on that waiting. So I can't even go to the Olympia this year.
Yeah, you can. Just fly to Mexico and walk across. Everyone's doing it. Come on.
It's a long
walk. Just on your way across, get a cat crossing the border. So you're from Haitian?
You say, Lee, you're not going either? You're not able to make it?
I got an eye operation on the 9th. So there's an expo here at Sydney on that same weekend. I'll be there. And I'm surprised because Callum's going to be at the expo in Sydney. I thought he would have been at Vegas.
Oh, interesting.
He's going to be in Sydney. So
What's the eye operation? I'm dating an eye surgeon, so I'm just curious.
it's
What to ask her?
He's
all the paperwork's here, but the actual one I'll grab. It's like something to do with the cornea. They're putting in a permanent lens, like a hard lens, so I don't have to wear glasses.
Can you like zoom in and out and stuff? Like
That's what I said. Is it going to be like the bio?
Yeah, can you like?
Yeah,
that would be good, wouldn't it?
Greg, were you so busy? Do you still train people?
I have 2 long-term clients, but I charge so much money. It's mostly multimillionaires that I coach. I do some like one-off plans, like where I just give them like several different nutrition plans and training programs to follow, but it's not like continuous online coaching. I would not have any time for that. So the prices are high enough. I just coach like, people who can afford it, I guess.
Yeah, that makes sense, man.
No bodybuilders there.
No,
yeah. There's not bodybuilders.
No bodybuilders yet.
This is what I'm getting done.
I'll have to show that to Mepstagram.
I think it actually says here refractive something on the lens.
Yeah.
So it's not like your basic like LASIK surgery where they, just
No, I had that done years ago. This time they're actually putting in a lens. So if it all goes well, I'll be able to see good. If it doesn't go well, I'll be a pirate like Johnny Depp, wear a patch. Plus, I'm getting old. The way I look, I don't want to see myself anyway, so I don't care if I go blind.
Hopefully a guy like Cali Muscle, he just got his eyes done to turn them blue. Do you know who this guy is? He's got like 3 million followers.
Yeah.
That
He
guy's
just had eye
intense.
surgery to turn his eyes blue. Literally. I don't know what's wrong with this guy.
You
He
know
does
you can
anything for
buy.
views.
You know you can buy contacts to do that. It's a lot easier.
I know.
That's
He
wild.
literally risking blindness to have blue eyes. Bro just eats like lemon. I don't know what he's doing. He's eating like lemonade for 2 weeks straight. He diets. He's lost all his muscle. He
Yeah.
already
I
had a
remember he
heart
did that.
attack.
He has the weirdest skin. Like it looks so strange.
Yeah.
Didn't Johnny Bravo do one about him once where he was on some watermelon thing for a while or something? Or
Yeah, I've done a video on him doing that as well. But Johnny Bravo just literally posted a video about him doing the eye surgery thing.
Oh wow,
Blue
wild.
eyes.
That's so dangerous. Like how is that
the
an
watermelon,
example?
is strange. That would be just like having fried chicken with it, so it's no different. And
Oh god.
don't stereotype people. That's not right.
I'm just thinking how he's like such an like people follow the guy for like to be like a leading example for like young people coming up. Like that's crazy. Like just not liking yourself that much to go change your eye color. There must be something behind that.
I don't think anyone follows Kali Muscle as a person to idolize or to follow.
Maybe back in
I
the
don't
day,
think
I guess.
that's
I don't think so anymore.
Back in the day, I
He
guess.
was around years ago, right? Like popular years ago.
His
I think.
jail workouts and whatnot.
Yeah.
It's like
when he
me,
claimed
Lee.
natural.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it.
You just
That's what it
it's
was.
like you follow Lee Priest because I'm a train wreck. You don't know what I'm going to do next. Fancy colour in your eyes. Next, he'll get a tattoo on his face. The idiot. What's he going to do?
Oh fuck! Everybody talking about their eyes. My eyes watering all the fucking time.
Greg, have you ever did a video on Lee Priest?
Several.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bro.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I enjoy it. Like I said, as long as someone's talking about me, I don't care if it's good or bad. It's like I find it all entertaining anyway.
Well, as long as you're relevant, if people are talking about you, you're doing something right. Especially where me and Lee are older guys. I'm 49. I mean, to be talked about or be relevant at our age, you're doing something right.
No, yeah, it's amazing.
Like I said, I'm 52 now, and I haven't competed in the IFBB since '06. So it's funny. I guess because the Tren Twins, they were fans of mine, and so was Sam. So I guess that got me a lot of new, younger fans type thing through those people. So, but yeah, I'm still around, even though the IFBB probably wishes I wasn't still around, but I'm still here.
Well, I got the same problems with the IFBB. They canceled me from being allowed to coach, or not to coach, to judge. I
Oh,
made some
Right.
videos talking about how the women's bikini is overtly sexual, which it obviously
it
is,
is. It is.
and how
I've seen that.
men's physique, the guys are getting too big, and they didn't like that, so they stopped me from judging. But they didn't announce it till a year later when it was cool to say that Greg couldn't judge.
Right. I think it was the word
But even I
delicious
mentioned
maybe that
that
was
before on
used
the women.
or something.
But I mentioned that before on the women because I judged the women once at a show, and when they turn around and do that pose, you know, the one where it's in your face. I'm like, where do I look? It's like all you see is their asshole. You see their
Yeah.
vagina, the fallopian tube hanging out. You almost see everything. It's like, what am I looking at? And yet, when I put on a show once, and I actually had the judges not call for that shot because I'm like, most of the women don't like doing it. I said, well, if you don't like doing it, stand up for your rights and say, listen, we don't want to do it. There's no need for that pose. And then I remember when I was with Adela, when she was doing the fitness, one of their mandatory poses is they got to do the legs spread to the judges, you know, where they hold themselves up with their legs spread open. That was a
Oh yeah.
mandatory pose. One from the back, one from the front. But men can't bend over and show their hamstrings because that's offensive. It's like,
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I'm here defending the women, saying it's overtly
mhm,
sexual. You're literally putting your hair covering your entire back. And so you're not
mhm,
judging any of the muscles in the back. You're just
yeah,
judging their glutes and the top of their hamstrings. That's all they're looking at. And I'm saying, how are we doing this? It looks like it's very sexual. And
mhm,
just because I say it, they're like, oh my God, Greg's a bad person. Meanwhile, that's what everyone's thinking. I'm
Right.
like,
oh,
why can't we
100%.
show their back? Get the hair off the back and let's judge the whole body. But no, I'm a bad
mhm.
person for saying it.
Well, I did that. I did that on an Instagram post once. A girl had a picture up. I said, "Fuck it, I'm just going to write," and I wrote, "Nice vagina." Oh, and the hate I got because all the men
Right.
there, all the comments I'm reading, men are like, "Beautiful hamstrings, beautiful calves." All you see is her glutes and what's between her legs. I'm thinking, you guys are so full of shit. You're thinking you want to hit it. You're not thinking, oh, I
No,
wonder
it's
how
true.
many sets she does for leg curls. I wonder how many sets she does for calves. I said, grow up. You're looking at one thing and you're thinking one thing. And because I say it, I'm the bad person.
But
Exactly.
on the other hand, Greg, when you posted your hamstring photo, what did people say about that? You
Man,
bent.
I can't remember. I posted so many photos.
Well, you did that almost that pose where you just bent over and you were in your shorts and your hamstrings were just like popping up. But then so much negative comments about why would you do that? I can't believe you're showing your ass to everybody. But it was the exact same thing. But you're a guy, and your hamstrings looked
I
twice as or like 100 times better than all the other girls that did it.
do it. So many guys used to do it in the day. Plats
Right?
used to do it. Everyone. And if you're ripped, it actually looks good when your
It does.
hamstrings are all
Mhm.
got the lines in and they look like cable rods and stuff. So I think what Greg should do is reenact that Labrada pose. You know, where Labrada goes down like that with his legs out? Do that, but do it naked. That way your balls are hanging. Everyone can see everything. It'd be just like the women. It'd be great.
Well, at the show I just went to and watched, one guy, he started in a bent over pose and one of his balls came out of the shorts and he had to tuck them into it. But for 5 seconds,
Uh,
it was fully visible. The whole audience saw it. And so, and whatever
Oh
works.
no.
Oh man.
all I can say is if his ball fell out, if his nut fell out, that cunt didn't diet hard enough because you should have no balls if you diet
Should
hard
have no
enough
nuts.
and taken diuretics.
Yeah.
You're not
I
wrong.
thought that actually happened to me at my first show. I thought one of my balls fell out, and I have it videoed, and I actually like checked to see if it fell out
I
on
don't know
stage.
I don't know how your balls
You say
fall
you
out.
did.
Every time I got ready for a show, I used to have to push my balls back down from my ovaries,
Yeah.
like push them back in the sack. It's like,
There it is.
Oh, there we go.
Can you see it? There you
I
go.
know.
Right, like those hamstrings.
Oh, yes. I
Yeah.
remember that pose
What's
now.
the first comment? Oh my God, Greg, what are you doing? Like it goes into
Seriously.
anyways. There was
And I'm
a
at
lot
least
of
wearing shorts that cover my whatever. Those are
Exactly.
bicycle
right,
shorts.
but like,
Mm.
come on, like that was awesome. That was a great
The
pose,
girls
Great
have
hamstrings.
but then you
the
get
girls
shit
have
for
the
it.
like the thong bit on, and you can see they're almost their balloon knot asshole as well as whatever else is beneath it. You can see
Yeah,
everything.
sometimes you're seeing the brown, and I'm like, that's too much. Come on.
Mm.
Well,
That's
don't be
definitely a little
racist.
overboard.
If they're darker skin, we do see the pink, so we've got to play both
Yeah.
sides.
God. Got a question for you, Greg, about your. You were on Fat versus Fit a while back. That's getting pretty popular. What was that like? I don't know if you've seen that, Lee, or not, but you're literally in like kind of like an interview room talking. You got a bunch of fit guys and a bunch of obese people talking about this, about their health, and kind of going back and forth and saying, I thought that was really interesting. Was that a cool experience for you? Was that hard to do, to talk to people face to face?
No,
be upfront
I
like
find
that?
it easy
Tell
to
them
be
that,
honest. I just tell it like it is. I'm just very honest with people. I have no trouble in saying, "Hey, you're fat, you're obese, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that." Most people, they want to be the nice guy. They can't say anything to someone's face like, "Hey, you're not in shape, you don't look good, whatever." So all we had was a lineup of guys that were severely overweight and then a bunch of fit guys, and they'd ask us questions like, "Do you think that fit guys are more attractive than fat guys?" And I'm like, "Obviously." And people are like, "No, it depends on the person." I'm like, "No, it doesn't. Shut up. Be honest about it." They actually invited me to be on the show again. They have another show, but I can't travel to the United States, so I can't go. It was going to happen in October this month, and it was something like fat guys versus or fit guys versus fat girls. It was another episode coming up, but unfortunately I couldn't make it. A similar episode, and I mean that last video got like 7 million views.
Yeah,
So
it's up there.
it's pretty popular.
Yeah, it's up there. Yeah, it was interesting
I enjoyed it.
to hear the excuses, right? From
It's a fire. It's a disease. Okay.
Yeah, Myron speaks his mind. I found I was somewhere in the middle. Like Myron's opinions are like to the extreme. I found I'm somewhere in the middle, and the other guys are just kind of like saying the nice things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't want to be the bad guys, or speak what they're really feeling, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Now I have a question to ask, Josh. I have a question to ask, since we're all here, and I don't want anyone to get in trouble, because last time I was on, Josh, and someone got in trouble. What happened? Can you talk about
it? He's gonna fucking.
I put you on the spot.
We don't know what you're talking.
Our last
get upset.
Our last podcast. Yeah. Our last podcast, we had some people that represented the CPA, the Canadian Physique Alliance, on, and they weren't expecting. I don't know. They didn't do their research. They weren't expecting Lee to be as vocal as he was, and then after the podcast was over, I got a pretty nasty phone call saying, "Why the hell would you do this to me?" Right?
Well, who's the person?
We all know them. I would say, yeah.
Say it.
I was like, I don't know if I should say it, but yeah.
We're all here. We're all involved.
Yeah, we're all involved. But I get where they were coming from. But it was
basically, you're too chicken shit to say the person's name. This is what I'm hearing.
No, I was just I get where they're coming from, but it was
so you were warned you can't say anything, and so you're not saying anything.
Nah, Tijan was on.
Okay.
Tijan was on, and then after the podcast was done, his wife called me and like dragged me over the coals for allowing Lee to speak the way he did to him.
Well, you're not responsible for how somebody else speaks. That's ridiculous.
I know. That was my argument.
I just spoke telling my normal stories that I normally tell. It wasn't like...
Right.
We told him as soon as he come on, you should have watched the other podcast.
Lee was already on before that.
Yeah. Gave him fair warning, but it didn't. Anyway, I got messages. So well. I got messages upon messages of not very nice things.
It's like when I make a video about somebody and somebody gets mad at my fans for writing that person and saying, "Hey, you're a fake natty," or "You took this," or "You did that." It's like, I didn't tell anyone to write anyone. I'm not responsible for how other people act. That's ridiculous.
Right. The argument to that was I'm the host and I should be steering Lee away from those stories and keeping him on track. Like, I can't do that with Lee. No one can do that with Lee. No. That's not my place.
We like talking bodybuilding, and then Lee might start talking about when he did cocaine and tied his stick to the coffee table. It's like, right. I've got a wide range of topics I talk about.
It's our podcast. We don't
We
need
do
to
what we
steer
want.
anybody away from anything.
Yeah.
This is why we have this, so we can talk the way we want to talk. So,
Right.
I mean,
Anyway, long story short, we're all good back here with the people that were on it. Everything's cool, but that was a little bit of.
Yeah, again, he's got it behind him. The Greg's Cookbook. Go out and get it if you want good meals.
And he's got just
I've got about
testosterone
100
there.
of these flying around the house here, obviously.
Hey, there it is. Look at that.
Yeah.
The only problem is the recipes look good. I just need someone to cook it for me because did you always experience that when you're dieting? I got so sick of cooking chicken and rice. I'd eat it. I'd be like, all of a sudden, my wife could cook the exact same thing, and I'm like, what did you do to this? This tastes wonderful. Just because somebody else cooked it, it tastes so much better.
Yeah.
I'm a horrible chef, but I learned how to make these recipes because they're so simple over 25 years or whatever of competing. But I don't make them anymore. I got personal chefs doing this stuff for me. I don't basically do anything. I don't go to the grocery store. I just make videos, and that's all I do.
Good for you.
I don't even jerk off anymore.
If I go to
pretty
the
sweet
grocery
life.
store, I always come home. My wife orders online now because if I go to the grocery store, I come home with the chocolates, the ice creams, the chips. I come home with all the shit I shouldn't get. But the only thing I used to make, you can add this to your cookbook, Greg. It's a good one. It's like a strawberry baked dessert. What I do is I used to just get boiled rice. You get lots of strawberries. You puree the strawberries up so it's like a liquid, and then get any sweetener you want, honey or even artificial sweetener. And then you get tons of egg whites, as many as you want. Make the egg whites, like that real fluffy, so they're fluffy, like a meringue. And you mix that with the strawberry puree very softly. Then you add the rice and that to that, and you bake it in the oven. It comes out like this strawberry baked custard.
I'm getting hungry listening to it. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, that sounds
It does.
Great.
I used to eat that when I was dieting.
I can imagine. It sounds delicious.
That sounds wonderful.
Greg, can you
write that down?
Can you remember your first video that actually went viral, Greg? That
I think the most viral one was probably when I talked about The Rock and Buddy doing steroids. Mark Wahlberg, I think it was.
I was like,
I just said, you guys think these guys are natural? The Rock literally had gyno surgery, and you think they're natural? Of course they're not. And that one took off.
I think that was
kind of put you on
your
the
first
map.
big one.
Started the ball rolling.
So whenever I started calling out like famous people, I noticed that I got way more views. Anybody that was famous, and then I started catering more to like fitness people that were famous. And so every time I got more and more views, so I just kept going with it. And I still do it to this day.
Yeah.
It works. When did you? I guess I have a couple questions too from like viewers that are really interested in what you've been doing, Greg, as well. We've noticed you started like reposting other people's posts and asking the question. Like asking a question. What do you think of this?
What do you mean, like where I say, "Do you agree?"
Yeah, the "Do you agree" stuff.
Oh, I do that on purpose because some people pissed me off because I posted a question or something, and I said, "Do you agree?" Well, I was asking, like, what do you guys think about this? Do you agree with what the person said? And then I got shit on as being a misogynist, asshole, pervert, child molesting pedophile because I posted a video about a girl who was, I believe she was 29 or 33 years old, and she was anorexic severely, and she was talking about how many drugs she was doing, and she was talking about her correct form or something like that on a squat, and I said, do you agree with what she's saying or whatever? And people were like, "You're such a bad person." I said, I literally reshared her exact video and said, "Do you agree with her?" And then I was a bad person for it. So since that time, I've been posting other people's content and saying, "Do you agree with that person?" without even saying if I agree or not. And when people say, "I can't believe you did this. I can't believe you're saying this," and I'm like, I said nothing. I said, "Do you agree?" So that's the full story.
Right. Yeah. And
that's
then,
it.
Wow.
You can't even ask a question if you agree with something or not. Like I could say, for example, do you think that people should be forced to wear a mask when there's germs going around? And just ask, do you agree with that? I don't say if I agree or not, and then I get shit on from both people both ways.
Oh, you can't. Yeah, you can't do anything.
More views though.
Well, that's you keep
But if
doing
you
it,
found,
so you know what you're doing there too, right?
I'm just trying to get
Those
engagement.
Yeah.
yeah,
but
those views
do you
coming back
find
and
out
forth.
over the do you find that over the years, though, even like even the last year or two, people are becoming way more sensitive, even in the bodybuilding industry. Like even I've been watching lately, people giving predictions. Like predictions, I hate them because until the day of the show, you can show me you're looking ripped the week out. The day of the show, you look shit, or vice versa. So okay, that's fun, but even when people do predictions and somebody goes, okay, I think Nick might be fifth, and then this and that, and then how dare you say I'm going to be fifth? These people get so fucking upset just over someone's opinion on, okay, I might like this shape more than the freaky shape or the symmetrical shape. But if you say that now, these grown muscular men carry on like fucking little girls who you just taking fucking lunch away from them. It's like, Jesus. It's like, don't get
Yeah,
upset. Calm down.
absolutely. I do those videos all the time, and I get in trouble from no matter who I put in first place. Somebody argues with me, and whoever I got in fifth place, no, they're going to win. Whoever win, no, they're going to get fifth. Everyone complains. I do literally videos talking about how people look. So when I say Mike Israetel got eighth place out of 15 for his pro card, and he states in his comment, I didn't win because I wasn't tanned enough. And I said, you are just not in shape enough. You needed to diet for 3 more weeks. I get shit on. Oh, how could you say that? You're such a bad person. I literally have a channel devoted to commenting about the fitness industry, and I pick people who are newsworthy and I comment about them. You know,
Yeah.
if the Mr. Olympia champion, if Chris Bumstead shows up out of shape, I'm going to say he looked fat on stage, and everyone's going to hate on me. But it is what it is.
How many,
Now,
how
Greg, when
many,
you
how many have blocked you? How many have blocked you from things? So do you get
I'm
blocked a
not
lot on
technical enough to notice when somebody blocks me, so I don't really know.
I'm the
I
same.
don't really know how to use the internet that well.
I'm the same. I
when
never
you
know when I've been blocked or not, but people always go, well, when I even went to Russia, I went to Russia for a big bodybuilding show, some seminars. People
Oh
like,
yeah, I remember that.
how can you go to Russia and support Russia and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I'm going for bodybuilding. I'm not going to the war. And then they write back, but there could be Russian soldiers at your seminar. And by you being there, that's going to motivate them to go kill more Ukrainians. I'm like,
What?
how did you come to that conclusion? And they're like, I'm going to unfollow you. I'm like, well, thanks for telling me because when I do my nightly head count, I'll be wondering where you are when I count my followers every night, you dickhead. As if I'm going to notice. But they make a point to let you know, I'm unfollowing you. I'm like, whoa, okay.
You can't even support a cause. I mean, for example, if I made a video and I said, "Hey guys, I love animals so much, and there's these animals in need, and can you donate money for those people?" People say, "Why didn't you talk about Israel? They need money. Why didn't you
Oh,
talk about Ukraine? Why?" So you can't even support a cause because people will then say you're not supporting that cause.
well, that happened to
no,
me
Yeah.
actually because I auctioned off something a couple of months ago, and I give a lot of my money when I sold my trophies. I give it all to the like Animal Humane Society, the Hunter Animal Rescue, and I got the same thing. How much have you given to Palestine? I'm like,
What? Yeah.
I'm like Jesus. I'm not one of these virtual signalers. I don't put up the pride flag. I don't put up the Ukrainian flag. I didn't do a black square for BLM. I said these people just jump on board whatever's happening that day or that week. They get on the bandwagon. Oh, let's support this cause, and then I'm just like I don't get into it. And then I get abuse. Why haven't you put up the Ukrainian flag? Why haven't you put up a black square for BLM? I'm like, because I'm not playing into that bullshit. That's why.
Greg, when you go places, does anybody ever confront you on, say, like the natty or not, or what you say about somebody, or this and that, or do you ever
In
get
my
in
lifetime, I've
confrontation, or
had four people. Yeah, four people have said something negative to me in person in my lifetime out of thousands that have said, I mean, over the top, the nicest things I've ever heard in my life. Like, it's unbelievable to go
Mhm.
to like a fitness seminar and see what people say and do and the lives you've changed. It's unbelievable. So am I really worried about the four people that didn't like me versus the 4,000 that did? And so I just don't care.
no? Right.
Well, how many messages would you get too? I used to get them. If I see you at an expo, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. If I see you here, I'm like, I'm not hard to find. If you go on my page, it says Lee Priest will be here I'll be there at these times. It's like if you want to find me, it tells you what time I'm going to be there, how long I'm going to be there for. But I've never had anyone come up to me. Only once I had in Australia. Remember Ziz back in the day, Ziz?
Oh yeah.
All I commented was somebody asked me a question about him, what do I think about him? And I said, well, he had a great physique, but I think what he did and how he died was pretty stupid, in the sauna and the diuretics, they said, and all the other stuff. And because they said, I think he's stupid, his brother come up to me next expo and goes, hi, I'm such and such. I went, oh, hi. He goes, you don't know who I am, do you? I said, no. He goes, I'm Ziz's brother. What you said is fucking wrong and that. I said, well, I'm sorry your brother died, but what he did was stupid. He just started yelling at me and going off and then walked away. And then as I'm at the expo, he's running after me again, blah, 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 blah. And he meant to pull the door. He said he pushed it and crashed into the door. And I went, that's the only person my whole career, but I get it all the time. I'll see you in person. I'm like, I'd have more respect for you if you come to say it to my face rather than on a keyboard, but it's just like, fuck people. Don't take life
Yeah,
so
I don't
serious.
remember any literal threats that much. Like, I mean, people will say things like they're going to do something, but I don't think it's legit. I mean, I've seen, but it's like, if I ever see you, I'll do whatever. But it's like, you're never going to see me. Like, yeah, you're from where? Bangladesh? Like, I don't even know if I'll ever see you in my
Exactly.
lifetime. It's just idle
Yeah.
threats. It's just,
Yeah,
yeah, I just
Mhm.
ignore them.
yeah, exactly. Something interesting. We have two different opinions here, I believe, when we have Coach Greg and then we got Lee that doesn't believe in coaching.
No, I believe
Or
in
like
coaching like
towards the end of the
general. I
yeah.
believe in coaching like for the general person who goes to a gym, they want to lose weight, get in shape, but I don't believe in when you see the people like Ronnie and Phil Heath and all these guys who are already at the top. I mean, these top professionals, they've won pro shows, and not picking on Honey, but then someone like a Honey comes along and this and that and goes, oh, I made him win the Olympia. I made him this. I'm like, my grandmother could give Ronnie a diet and that he'll get in shape because you're talking about the top 1% of genetics in people. And like I said, Hardy, he's the procreator. I haven't seen him take anyone from nothing and made him Mr. Olympia yet. The guys he gets are already up here. So it's like, and all these gurus, it's like, I even asked, like, because I like Ian Valier, and I used to ask Ian, I said, you coached Chris and he's won the Olympia. I think he won the Olympia, what, Classic 3 times under Ian? I said, Ian, if you can get him in shape, why can't you get yourself in shape? It's like, he's won the Classic. You're a bodybuilder. You can pretty much use the same dieting and drugs on yourself, but sure, it's different because you got more mass. But I'm like, I don't get why these people. Well, Doucette, when he lived with me, he told me when he was using Chad, because I'd go, oh, what will I have for lunch? And Paul goes, see, that's why I use Chad. I don't have to think about it. Chad says I have to eat this and eat this. Paul goes, I'm just lazy. I need someone to tell me what to do. Because I've always believed if you got the genetics, you train hard, you got a great training partner, you got somebody there you can throw ideas at, maybe if I do this, maybe I do that, and just have belief in yourself and have a good support team. That's all you really need because I see Harney standing behind these guys, and the other I was laughing the other day because Hardy was posing like this, and Harney's standing there telling him squeeze this more, and Harney's pulling faces. I'm like, I think Hardy knows how to fucking pose. Harney's like, calm down, and when he's spotting them, I'm like, I just sometimes think some of these gurus for the top pros get a bit more credit than what they deserve because really, like I said, these guys are the best of the best. It's like, come on, it's like.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. It's what's funny is I coached Ian Valair the 3 times in a row until he got his pro card, of which he even stated he was the leanest he'd ever been when I was coaching him.
Yeah.
And I always gave credit to him. I'm like, do you think it was hard to coach him? 6 weeks out, the guy looked like he was on. It just didn't make sense. He
Mhm.
hired me. It was like 13 weeks out, and by 6 weeks out, I'm like, this guy's going to win overall and get a pro card this year. It's like it was obvious. I didn't have to do anything. Like he did it all.
Yeah.
Very easy. So I always say it's the athlete. If you have a great athlete, they're
Mhm.
going to do amazing. I'm more impressed with people that I've coached who were just, for example, 50 pounds overweight and they lost weight and got in great shape than the person that's
Yeah,
like
I
the
agree
great
for sure.
genetics. I coached myself. I had great genetics. It wasn't that hard to
Yeah.
turn pro
Yeah.
when,
I I
I
never
have
had.
the genetics to do it.
Yeah, I never had anyone help me. I just learned from magazines. I would see what other people are doing, and my whole career too. Like when Paul lived with me, and we'd eat at the firehouse. Chris would be there, Flex would be there, and that's why I don't get why it's a topic with young kids now. in the whole career, we never once discussed steroids. What's your cycle? What's my cycle? We just didn't care because what your cycle is might not work for me. So it's like, it was never a topic like it is today, where so many people are so factuated on the drug side, where I was more about the training, the nutrition. And then if you get to that point where you need drugs, okay, then think about taking them. And then if you do take them, use them. Don't abuse them. Don't go first cycle 1,000 milligrams of this and that. Because when I was taking tests, I'd tell people 400 was the most I took. Trevor from Nuclear Nutrition once said to me, go higher, Lee. I went to 800, and for 3 weeks, I felt like shit. I actually felt crap. Went back to 400. I felt good again. So these people that go on about these large amounts, I was in England, and a couple of young kids there were on 5 grams a week. I'm like, where the fuck do you inject 5 grams a week? I'm like, I don't get it. I just, but they think more is
I mean, you
better.
got guys like Togi who are just started training and they're on 3 grams a gear plus orals plus GH, all of it, and they haven't even done a show and they don't even like training.
And the thing is, when you think of all that, and like I said, okay, he's got a good physique. He looks like a beach body type thing. But when you're saying all that gear, you think the guy should be like some big freakazoid mass monster taking all that shit. But
you think they'd be huge Olympian physiques with all that crap, but no, it's not even close. Usually,
do you guys find the gear is getting a little lower lately than it was for a lot of years? Like the
quality
amounts? And
probably,
no,
I think,
just no the amounts people are taking, because there was like
I think, I
probably
think that is.
15 years or so where it was out of hand, like getting crazy.
And I think I've heard a few, because I know Boston Lloyd would always have a go at me, my small amounts, but sadly, in the end, I think he even realised you don't need that much. I've heard Fuad say that when he went to a smaller amount, he felt better and stuff.
Great.
So I think people are finally learning that, after the time, smaller amounts are better.
Yeah. I've noticed that too. I never noticed any difference when I ever dropped it down lower. I still had the same
No,
or
but
better physique.
I felt the same as Lee. Anytime I tried to go higher than 500, it was just sickly, and it didn't feel good. It dropped back down to 300, 350 was good.
Did you actually? It's like, it's hard to explain. I had just sitting there even watching TV. You know when you feel like you got a flu coming on, or you feel like you got something coming on. I just had like a sick sort of toxic feeling inside where just something didn't feel right. So
it's the same thing for me. Exact same thing. Just like a
The
flu type symptoms.
Test flu. Test flu.
You just like you just don't feel 100% all the time. You're like, something's just not right. It's just
no. Yeah. And I knew it because I tried it 2 or 3 times, and it did the same thing. So it always ended up going back down. But you always seemed like you just wanted to go up to try it. But that was in the past. And
Greg must have said the wrong thing. Greg said the wrong thing, and Trudeau cut him off.
No,
they're big on censorship in Canada.
Yeah, he said the wrong thing.
Phone died.
Oh,
Trudeau hit the button.
Yeah, Trudeau cut you off.
No, but yeah, that'll make sense.
So Lee, you were your last show on the IFBB was 2006. You said.
Yeah, the Iron Man. Yeah, and then the Arnold, and then I was going to qualify for Olympia, but that's when Wayne started the PDI. And I figured, look, I've been with the IFBB 15 years. Wayne was starting a new organisation, and Wayne and I, we had our run-ins, but he was a good promoter. He was fair, like him or hate him. People have their opinion. But so he was starting the PDI, and he was going to go back to judging, more symmetrical, get away from the bloated stomachs that were around at the time. And I thought, well, that's a month and a half before the Olympia. I'll be in shape. I'll do the show. So when I went to do it, I got the old, you can't do that. You're with the IFBB. I'm like, well, it says that I'm an IFBB athlete, but I pay for my card. It says I'm an independent contractor. Where are you paying me a contract money I said, I'm a bodybuilder. I compete to make money. Oh, but that's breaking the number 1 rule. I said, so these other guys who are doing gay shit online and they're convicted felons, that's okay. But me competing, that's the bad thing. So I got the suspension for 1 year and 2 years. And then John Romano and I VPX show when I was sponsored by VPX. And we'd talk about the good and bad, but because we talked about the bad a bit, that's when I got suspended for life. And I'm like, whatever.
I had the same thing happen. Basically, I was competing in the drug-tested bodybuilding competitions because every time I do a competition, people were on drugs, and I was like, "Is there no shows I can do natural?" And so
Probably
there were
not.
other organizations that offered it, and I did those. But then I was banned from competing in the CBBF, which is part of the IFBB, for the 3 years
Yeah.
that I was doing that, and then so I had to stop those competitions and come back, and then they let me back in.
I don't get
That
the
was
whole thing. Even in 2013, when I went to England after I won the NABI Universe. So 06, I got suspended from the IFBB. So now 2013, we're what, 7 years later, I had seminars set up in England, and Bill Tyranny, that runs the IFBB over there, he had 3 gyms, made them cancel on me because IFBB judges ran the gym, and if they had me at the gym, he would have cancelled them from ever judging an IFBB show again. Zach Khan was going to come see me. Zach told me if he come to see me, he got told he'd never place in a pro show again. I'm thinking, this is 7 years ago, mate. You people need to get over it. But they tried to stop my whole tour of England from going to gyms that IFBB was associated with. I'm like, I couldn't even go to an expo. Tony Doherty, like I said, I knew him since a teenager. And for the whole, until the IFBB and Raphael separated, I couldn't even go to an expo here in Australia. My friends competing wouldn't let me in to watch my friend even compete. They wouldn't let me in the door. I'm like,
Wow.
this is just childish. Come on. It's like,
Wow.
Crazy.
Greg, what was your last show?
I think it was 2019, but it might have been 2020.
Was that in
Niagara
Germany?
Falls Pro.
What was the Germany one?
I
that
did
the one you got
Germany, and
sick?
then I think it was like a week later in Niagara. It was in
Okay.
Canada. I got 4th in Classic, and that was my last show.
Was that the one you were sick in? I remember watching that.
Yeah. I didn't
interview.
eat for 24 hours. I might have had like 4 jelly beans. I could hardly walk. I was bad.
Is
I
that
was
you?
shoving
Yeah.
what I don't forget it, gravel up my ass because I couldn't swallow the
Suppositories.
gravel. It was bad. I was deadly sick.
Lee knows all
Throwing
about that.
up,
He's
it
like-
was just horrendous. Yeah.
I watched that video.
I was
yeah.
ripped though.
Lee's
Yeah.
put vodka up.
Look good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you look good. That's the main thing anyway at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You'll get
Yeah.
better.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm watching Chris Bumstead's video today saying how flat he is. I'm like, you're 248 and a half pounds, 4% body fat flat. Meanwhile, I was throwing up and weighing 184, and I thought I looked great.
Yeah.
But you notice as the Olympians get closer, everyone that posts a photo, I'm flat today, low carbs.
Yeah.
I'm thinking,
Don't
bullshit.
judge
All of
me.
that, you're just
They
saying
look
you're flat, so
amazing.
we're going to be impressed.
So saying that, I was talking, or we were talking to Sean Ray a little while ago, and he was talking about Chris shouldn't be doing classic. He should be moving to open because they're getting so big right now.
Well,
what's your guys'
personally
opinions
think
on that?
I personally think they should lower the weight cap for classic physique by 20 pounds. I think classic guys are all way too big. They all look like open class bodybuilders. Irvs Kalasensky, he's 5'11", 275 off season, 11% body fat. I tested it myself. The guy is a friggin' monster. They're all monsters. And so my opinion, if you want these guys to have the classic look, you got to lower the weight class, but they just keep wanting them bigger. I mean, for my height, classic is 193 pounds. I mean, that's massive. If you have a small waist and you weigh 193 at 5'6", you're a big dude.
That's huge, right?
All they keep doing is upping it seems.
Yeah, it's been up. I mean, Chris Bumstead is 242 is his weight cap. And Wesley is 248 or 253. I mean, these are big dudes with tiny waistlines. You know, it's a lot of muscle everywhere else.
Yeah.
And
why does men's physique not have a cap? Like,
What's
why
that?
do they not have a weight?
For men's physique, they've added it. I made a video talking about it, and then a couple months later, they had a weight cap for men's physique, even though they said I was an idiot for saying it. Then they added that weight cap in. And so it's about 5 pounds smaller than classic physique. So for men's physique, you have to weigh roughly the same as for men's classic. Roughly. It's massive. It's way too big. Imagine having no legs.
Yeah.
That's a lot of upper body.
It should be at least 10 pounds difference, I would say.
Should be 30 pounds smaller.
Oh, fuck yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Well, the classic now reminds me of what bodybuilding used to be. You know, because you used to have the Lee Haneys, the Barry DeMays. They were all around the 230, 240, beautiful waist, great physiques. But then it was like, you know, when the stomach started happening, they was telling everyone, we've got to make this, got to bring it under control, which they never did. So they're like, oh, we got to start classic because the bodybuilders are getting too out of control. Like they did the same with the women. When I was dating Kathy and married to Kathy, they told the women, you must lose 20 pounds. So a lot of the women, 20%, they lost 20% of their muscle, but then they still give first place to Iris Kai or the big girls. So the women are like, you tell us to lose the size, but now you're still rewarding the big people. When they brought out that stomach rule, if you got a bloated stomach, you'll get marked down. Some people got marked down and other people didn't. So it was just ridiculous.
All over the place. Yeah.
Crazy.
Do we know for sure what causes that at this point? Has anybody done any studies or anything? Do we actually know what causes these guts to get it? I mean, they're enormous, some of them.
Well, force feeding a lot of food and using insulin and growth hormone is going to be the easiest way to do that.
Right.
I
Yeah.
wasn't sure if that had been debunked or if they'd figured out exactly what it is, or if it's just, I mean, in my opinion, it's just the amount of food these guys are eating. It's got to be, you know, I don't know if growth hormone and all that stuff really actually makes your gut bigger or not. I don't know. I mean, Lee, you didn't.
Well, growth hormone makes you hold more water retention. It bloats you up more. And then that combined with all the food that people are putting back, like way too many calories to try to get bigger. And so you have some extra food in the gut, and it's also growing everything in the human body. So I would say it's a combination of both.
I think you're all wrong. You're all wrong because I watch the news religiously. It's 2024 and men can have babies, so they're all pregnant. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Periods now, men can breastfeed and they can have babies. So congratulations, half the lineup is pregnant. They're going to have a reveal on the stage and we'll know what they're having. So.
That's
I missed something here.
Well, they actually had a men's wellness competition there a few months back. I don't know if you guys saw that one. Men's wellness.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I saw that.
We talked a little bit about that a while ago.
I saw the winner thinking, hey, if I was gay, he wasn't bad looking man. I had to be gay. From behind, like a girl. From the front, it's a dude. You could have the best of both worlds there if you bend them over.
It's like, yeah. I don't think it went over very well, though. I don't think that they're going to be bringing it in the IFBB anytime soon.
Don't say that.
Well, I hope not. But
no.
So Andy over here and Greg started out. They've competed against each other before, right?
Were we in the same
Long time
show?
ago.
In the same division?
We were all three of us were in the same show in 2006 at Lanix.
Okay.
I was only 20 years old then, but yeah, I think you won the whole show, Greg, that year.
It might have. I've won overall a few times. I think two or three times maybe at the Atlantics.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you did.
It might have been my first one. It might have been my first one. My first ever overall at that show.
Yeah.
So yeah, Andy has an interesting.
I was just a junior in that one, but I think I'm pretty sure you won the overall that one.
Nice. Andy has an interesting story about what you did after one of your shows. I wonder if Lee's maybe done the same thing or close to it.
I wonder if it's me throwing up, eating a bunch of burritos, because I remember doing that one year.
No, this is even weirder.
I ate a 5-pound burrito and ended up vomiting. It was so much sodium. I remember throwing up after a show. Horrible. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll eat that 5-pound burrito. Not smart.
Do you vomit? When I vomit, though, I'm a violent vomiter. Like when I vomit, the pressure, all my eyes, I bust them all the time. But this one time, when I was with Kathy again, after the Ironman, it was close to Mike Christian's birthday. So I'm like, oh, Mike, come to my place after the Ironman. We'll have a big party. I had that much food. I had an ice cream cake probably this big, like this. And, you know, after a contest, you just want to eat everything. Even when you're full, you keep pushing it in. I had that much food. I was laying on the bed. My stomach was out here. Kathy went to touch it. I'm like, don't even touch it. I'm gonna be sick. I'm gonna be sick. So I had to go to the toilet. I started throwing up, and I'm like the pressure was that hard. I actually, the back here of my head, I split it open. Like going,
oh my God.
I was like, bleeding. The back of your head's bleeding. I'm like, what? And I'm just in the toilet like, So that's the most I've had. I ate that much that I spit back my head open vomiting.
Fuck. Jesus.
But it's a good sport. It's a nice, healthy sport. People, go ahead and just
Go do it.
You just can't eat the entire fridge after you're done.
What was your experience, Andy, with Greg?
Well, Greg, so after the show, as soon as we were done, Greg somehow had a giant bag of apples, and he ate the entire bag of apples. I don't know if you remember this or not, but I remember it like it was yesterday because it was the most incredible thing I've ever seen. You ate the entire bag of apples, and then we went to the Irving Big Stop, and you got 3 platters. You ate the entire 3 platters, and then we went back to my place, and you ate 2 liters of ice cream with a spoon nonstop, and then you just passed out.
I remember the ice cream. The rest I don't remember.
I don't
remember the apples.
I couldn't believe you just kept apple after
apples were a bit.
I must be trying to get some volume in so that I wouldn't overeat the calories. Because like once the floodgates are open, you can't stop. Like when I threw up on that 5-pound burrito, it was because I was so thirsty that after eating the 5-pound burrito, I kept drinking water because I was so thirsty. But then the water kept making me more full. And then I'd throw up, drink more water, throw up, drink more. It was horrible. It was just like, I think I had 50 grams of sodium that night. I was looking in how much like the Donair sauce. Oh, it was bad.
That's like another time after a show, I had Krispy Kreme donuts. I've got like 3 boxes. They're all fresh. Because you know when they're fresh, they're so soft and warm, you can just shove them in.
Oh, yeah.
They compact. I ate 36 of them, one after the other. And I wasn't too bad, but then like Greg, I got that thirsty. I just kept drinking. And once that water mixed with all the donuts in my stomach, holy hell, it was just like...
Yeah.
I was like that girl on Willy Wonka when she ate that thing and blew up. It's blueberry.
Need to go to the juicer. Squished back out. Oh, man.
And as you learn, though, as you get older, after a show, I just cut it back to go back to my hotel room, have a nice steak, something small, go to bed and start afresh the next day. Because how many times did you do it? I'm sure we all done it. The week before the show, I would go out and buy everything that I thought I wanted to eat, all the chocolates, all the cakes, and I'd lay them all on the bed. Oh, when it's over, I'm going to eat all this. As soon as the show's over, didn't touch fucking nothing. Never. My wife would hate it because we'd be going down the road. Honey, I promise when the show's over, I'll take you to that restaurant and then we'll go there, As soon as the show's over, never take her anywhere.
Yeah.
I changed my complete way to carb up differently. When I was younger, I used to eat like not much food and it was all healthy. But then when I got older, I just ate a bunch of shit candies and chocolate bars and by the time the show's over, I just want a salad. So the apple thing, that sounds like perfect for me right now. Like as I got older, I was craving salads and water and I wanted no junk ever because that's all I ate carbing up.
Mm-hmm. I was the same. I'd crave fruit salad. I'd crave fruit salads just for the taste and that little bit of fluid that's in the fruit.
Right.
I'd just be eating fruit salad.
Yeah, you just get like really sick of like muffins, right? Pounding back muffins to carb up or something and just...
Muffin tops. You get sick of the rest of it. I just eat the tops off them and then throw the rest.
And I ate muffins today. I eat muffins all the time, but they're like low-calorie ones. But I eat muffins every single day.
The Costco muffins, they're the ones you got to
never.
Yeah.
They're probably 600 calories. I couldn't eat something like that. I would feel too guilty.
But Greg, do you race bike like every day? Like the cardio must be unreal.
I do 7 hours of cardio a week, and I burn about 1,000 calories in an hour, so I can eat a lot. I eat more now, and I'm leaner now than I ever was when I was blasting hella gear. Like I'm way leaner, more fit, but the secret's cardio.
Yeah.
I only lift weights every 3 days. I do a full body for like an hour and a half every 3 days. That's all I do for weights now.
And I'd always tell people that when I get ready for shows, because sometimes I'm a pro bodybuilder. I got nothing to do all day apart from train, eat, and sleep. So I'd eat a lot of food. They're like, "Why you eat so much?" I'm like, "Well, I got nothing to do all day, so I do 2 to 3 hours of cardio, get ready for shows, because I could eat more food, and it would keep me full." And you know, when I was like with Paul would live with me. Paul, you come to do cardio. Paul would be on my couch like this. Turn the air conditioner on, son. I just took more clenbuterol. It's really hot. Just so it's like, Paul was that lazy, and I tell people, yeah, growth, cleanse, all these things might assist in losing a bit of body fat, but nothing's going to work like good old fashioned hard work, fucking cardio, grinding it out. If you want to lose fat and body fat and get in shape, that's the best way to do it. It's like the last 2 years I've been doing a bit of boxing just for cardio, and me being, oh yeah, I do treadmill, I do that, I'm fine. First couple of sessions of boxing, I'm like, fuck, I'm fucking cardio suck.
Oh yeah, and you can use all that like Clan and T3. You might burn an extra 100 calories a day from each thing, but I mean, not gonna come close to the calories you burn from doing cardio. It's
Yeah.
obviously the secret, but people always brag about I don't do any cardio during my prep, and I'm like, well, that's not something to brag about. Cardio is actually good
No.
for you. Like it's keeping your
Yeah.
heart healthy.
That's what I don't get, because they got all day. You're a pro bodybuilder. You're just sitting on the couch doing nothing. It's like some of these guys are like, you want to go for a walk with the girlfriend? Oh, I can't go for a walk. I could burn up leg muscle. I'm like, seriously? It's like no life at all. Come on.
Yeah,
Did
that's
you
what my
guys
job
believe in
was
high
for a long,
intensity
long
cardio?
time too.
What's
Sorry,
that?
go ahead.
that?
JB, go ahead.
I was just saying that's what my job was for years, was walking around, walking all day. So I did shows and I did my cardio too. Plus I had that extra from my work, but I always found that my body was used to that. So I had to,
Yeah.
that was just my regular routine of the day. But I mean, it was still burning calories, but it didn't bother me. Saw it done, none, and didn't hurt
Yeah.
my muscle progress or my prep or anything. I never looked at it
Yeah,
that
I
way.
think it's like
I always just looked. It was my job.
I think it's like we said before, get ready for shows or even bodybuilding. If you love it, the physical side really, yeah, you can have hard workouts. Some days you can be like, I don't want to eat this food. But I always said the hardest part with any bodybuilding, get ready for shows, is the mental aspect, not the physical, the mental mind game. One day you look good, one day you look shit. And it's just like that whole game where you can look exactly the same in the mirror. I'm not doing the show. I look flat. I look small. And then it just keeps going on. So I always tell people, get ready for a show. You got to fucking control this. If you can control that and be in a happy space there, that's why there's a lot of talk about Samson at the moment and his wife helping him. I said, look, his wife's probably not his coach, but Samson could be in that space right now where if he goes to the gym and she's spotting him at home, she's helping him, he's probably in that place where if you feel good and your mind's at ease and you just, you have that feeling, things just come together where you look great, you feel good. And maybe that's all he needs right now is her support, and her being there might put him in that frame of mind where he's stress-free and he might look the best he's ever looked.
Yeah.
All Samson's coach needs to do is say, do more cardio. And he could be much better because he's never been lean enough. He just did a show 2 weeks out. He looks aight, as in okay, but in my opinion, he's about 1 week behind schedule. And so if I were coaching him, I'd say 1 more hour of cardio a day. Whatever you're doing now, if it's an hour, it's now 2. And that would help him tremendously. But people don't want to do the work.
Yeah. And the thing is, too, people like Samson who have that beautiful structure, if they lost, say, an extra 3 or 4 pounds, if he's dry and shredded, he's going to look 15 pounds bigger.
Way bigger. Yeah.
And the leaner you get, the bigger
That's
you
the
look on
illusion.
stage. Yeah.
Yeah. Some people will say that Derek Lunsford wasn't hard enough from the front, that Hadi should have won, even though Derek was pretty freaking jacked and lean. I mean, I was training with him like 2 days after the show. It looked ridiculous, but they're like, well, he could have been harder from the front. Yeah, okay, a little bit. And so you can see like a 0.5% body fat more can make the difference from people saying you deserve to win versus you don't deserve to win.
Definitely. Do you actually think that Derek does have the biggest back in bodybuilding?
I was saying pound for pound, height for height. I mean, if you said who has the biggest back, he doesn't have the biggest back, but he's 5'6", he's my height. Compared to a guy who's 5'10", obviously the guy's 5'10" is bigger, but pound for pound, inch for inch, I think Derek's back is the most impressive. If Derek had the same proportions and were 6 feet tall, it would be lights out. It wouldn't even make sense.
Like if you took his proportions,
Be like Dorian's back in the day if it was the high.
exactly.
Yeah, if you have, say, 20-inch arms and you're 5'6", to me that's more impressive than you have 22-inch arms and you're 6 feet tall.
But what about the argument of
was my
smaller
favorite
guys?
saying
It's easier to build
What's
muscle
that?
when you're. What about the argument of if you're a smaller guy, like a shorter guy, it's easier to build muscle. Like it's like right, like
Everything is easier when you're taller, including picking up women.
exactly.
I always said that people always say, "Oh, Lee, you're short. You can build muscle easy." I said, "Well, if you look around the gym, there's a lot more shorter people than tall people. Why aren't they all massive?" Because I've always said, if you have the genetics, it doesn't matter if you're tall or short. We've seen Ronnie, Gunter, strongman. If you have the genetics for something and you train hard, you can build muscle if you got the genetics for it. It doesn't mean like, oh, you're shorter, you can fill in that area. That's why when Greg said that about the 20-inch arms, I used to always bring that up when they're like, oh, Lee's small. And I'd be like, well, you're 6 foot. How big's your arm? 21. I'm 5'5". My arm's 21 on stage. So you're only taller. You're not bigger. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. It's unreal. People just don't get it.
Yeah.
And like Lee Haney, Dorian Yates, Ronnie Coleman were all 5'11", and that was how many Olympias straight, right?
Yeah, so on average, most guys winning the Olympia are taller than average. And so why would they think that it's easier if you're shorter? If it was easier if you're shorter, most guys win the Olympia would be 5'8" or under.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Clarita should be cleaning up if that was the case.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, the reason they have a 212 class is because they could rename it the short class, because the reason there's a 212 class is because these guys are shorter. There's no one going to win that division at 5'10". The guys winning that are 5'5" and under.
Yeah.
That's why I've always been saying now, get rid of 212 and make it 5'6" and under and over, and then at the end do what Arnold and Franco used to do, put them together. Because at least at 5'6", because I think a lot of these 212 guys like Flex did back in the day, even probably Derek, they go really diet down and suffer to get to that class. Whereas if you have a light class, you could be 5'6" and weigh 225 and do it that way rather than, because really now then people go to me, if there's no 212 Lee, these guys can't compete. I'm like, well, maybe they're not good enough to stand on an open pro stage then if they can't get up there. I said, and they're like, well, people will quit. I said, look, if you love bodybuilding, if they got rid of 212, you're not going to quit the sport just because there's no 212. Come on, you'll try harder to do well in the open. It's just that simple. So
When I was trying to turn pro, they just literally invented a 202 division. I didn't care. I was just trying to compete. And then they added whatever division. They could have had a 192, a 402. I didn't care. I just wanted to compete.
yeah, that's what I said to people. When they say you can't get rid of 212, I said, well, okay, what about the guys who can't get the 212? Should we make a 185 pro class for them? And if we just keep making it like the amateurs,
That'd
just
be
have
great.
weight
I'd
class.
do that.
I like that one.
I would do that one.
I want the over 50s, fucked up nerves, one side of the body. Where's that one coming? So I can make a comeback.
Yeah, it's literally everyone needs to have a trophy. If you find the right category with the right events, every single one of us would win. They add in a bike riding event, and I'll probably win the Mr. Olympia. But we don't need that. Not everyone has to win.
Yeah.
I told you. Next year I'm coming back. Women's physique. Leanne Priest is coming back.
Did you just say Leanne Priest?
Yeah.
Yeah. My
Eat it.
pronouns are she and her.
Oh,
Awesome,
Don't
guys.
laugh at
Cool. Yeah, man. I don't know. I think that's it for me. If you guys have any other questions, we can keep. We can
Well, I
just
got a
keep.
question for Lee.
We can just
What's
keep
your
going
best bench press ever?
I know this was brought up on your channel and they didn't believe me, but I was 18 years old and I wished I could just give numbers like Paul Haslam. He was a power lifter. My best bench press ever was 525 pounds.
525 was your best ever.
Ever.
at 18.
I would have guessed even higher, but you were only
No.
18 for real, like legit. That happened
Yeah.
at 18. I
Yeah,
would
no,
guess like at 25 or something.
no, I was 18, but you have to remember at 18 I was already twice Mr. Australia. I competed in the under 75, but when I did that, I would have been off season. I would have been about 85 kilos roughly when I did the
That's what I weigh.
525. But back then, I was doing 4 plates pressed behind the neck even, but probably by 19, I couldn't do flat anymore because I fucked my shoulder up and had to use dumbbells from that point on. I just couldn't do flat bench after that.
That's crazy.
What was your best,
And then my
Greg?
best curl, like a standing curl, I did was 320 as a shorter bar. So they're like what, 15 kilos? That shorter bar, is it 15 or 10 or?
Yeah, 15, I think, kilos, 33
I had
pounds.
320 kilos on that, and a 5. And Joe Gold was there. Like I had all the witnesses. Remember Eddie Giuliani? He was there, and Steve that used to work for World Gym and did all the t-shirts. He got photos of it. I wish I could get it. I did like 4 reps of the 300 odd pound, but this is how bad it was. I'm psyching up. This was before the 97 Olympia. I got my wrist straps on so I don't drop it. And I'm visualizing, just do the curls, do the curls. And just as I'm about to lift it, Eddie Giuliani walks over and he puts his hand on my bicep. He goes, Lee, don't tear your bicep. I'm like, thinking about that. Thinking about it, I can't fucking do it. Had to unwrap, I had to get my mind right again because all I pictured was my bicep fucking blowing off my arm. Yeah, but yeah, back in the day, people said I should have done powerlifting because I was really strong for my age when I was younger. I got photos of me squatting 6, 7 plates at 17. I'm not going ass to the grass, just going parallel. I was doing 6, 7 plates and that, and then later on when I got into bodybuilding, I was like, fuck, I should have done powerlifting. I wouldn't have to fucking diet and do all this shit. I could just be Lee Priest in the off season, get fat and do 1 rep. But I still get questions on that because somebody, every now and then, I'm doing a live, they'll come up, what's your best bench? Greg said such and such, you couldn't do it.
Well, it's unreal.
What was your
I mean, my best bench was 529 pause, but I weighed 198 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
Well,
I
I
mean,
was
it was
80, I was trying 80, 85 kilos. I'm not sure what that is in pounds. And I did the 525.
187.4,
Okay.
roughly.
Yeah,
He's good at math. Technically not, but good at math.
Yeah, I
yeah,
was
but
about. I
always
did the 529 twice. I did one at, I think I was 35 years old or maybe 40, and then I did it again at 44. But my last bench press I ever did was the world record all time for 40 plus for that weight class, which I still think the record holds to this day. But it's obviously for 40 plus for that age group. But I can't bench press much now. I can only do around 330. I injured myself so bad benching that I had to stop doing it.
But that's the same from me being young when I did the heavy ones from, like I said, 1920 on. Like I said, my max bench after that was in 3 plates just because the shoulder just never felt right. Dumbbells, I could move around, and Joe Gold made me 200-pound dumbbells, not a problem. But anything with a bar where I'm locked in, oh, it's like someone putting a knife through there. Just couldn't do bench anymore. Just like, fuck that.
And it's interesting how the kids today, they won't listen to somebody like me or Lee, even though we've done this for decades, and they'll listen to the Tren Twins and they don't learn from our mistakes. Like I got injured doing benching, you did the same thing, but they're 23 years of age trying to bench press almost 600 pounds, and it's like, for what?
Yeah.
Well, I had a guy at the gym, this would have been a couple of years ago, young kid who's on the incline. He had 3 plates, he racks it, and he's like, just doing like a little movement like that. I'm like, okay, well, he's strong. He can lift 3 plates off. And I walked over and I said, oh, that's not a bad weight. Have you thought about maybe going a bit lighter and just bringing it down more, get a better range of motion? He puts it back. He's like, that's how Ronnie Coleman does it. I'm like, okay, well, okay then. Sorry for trying to help. So now when I see people doing shit at the gym, I don't even say anything anymore. I'm just like, oh, best of luck. Hope you don't get hurt.
Did he know who you were?
Oh, he probably, if he knew Ronnie Coleman, he probably would have known who I was, but he just told me, that's how Ronnie does it. All right. I guess you'll be like Ronnie, huh? But even, like I said, I know Branch got mad at me for a while because I'd always just mimic how Branch and Johnny trained. I said,
oh, God, here we go.
Bro, when you got that muscle, you can probably do shit like that and get away with it. I said, but if you're a young kid coming up, do not use that as an example on how to train, because even Ronnie, remember Ronnie when he used to do his T-bar rows, he'd be doing like movements like this. I'm thinking,
the head's everywhere. Yeah.
Go, oh, to get a big back, I got to throw the weights like that. I'm like, look, use good form. And just like I said, I've always said, look, if I was doing a barbell curl, I never did where they swinging it. It's sometimes if I got to here on my last rep, I might have to lean back a little bit just to counteract the weight. But I always just tried to cheat a little bit to add stress to the muscle, not take the stress away from the muscle. you see young kids now, they're just trying to move weight no matter any means necessary. They're not even working the muscle. It's like, yes, we've all loaded up a leg press. We've had people sitting on top, but you're not thinking about your legs. All you're thinking about is push the weight. Don't fucking get crushed. I find if I go lighter, focus on the legs, I get a much better leg workout. I get a better pump. The next day, my legs are more sore because you're actually squeezing, controlling the muscle rather than just push the weight so I don't die. You know, it's like, and that happens on a lot of exercises. You can see people controlling the dumbbells, or if they're going super heavy, they're just, and you know, it's just, they're just moving the weight. They're not really using the muscle.
Right.
No, it's way too common now, but thanks social media for that, I guess.
That's where it all stems from social media. Yeah, just look at somebody and then just try to mimic it.
I'm sure
that's the way to go.
Greg's probably the same as me. As soon as we say something, these are just old timers. You're not up with the new stuff. Blah blah blah. Okay.
They don't know the science. They don't know the science behind training. Everything's like science.
Oh yeah, it's all about science now. People don't
training,
understand
right?
that we've been training like this for years.
Yeah.
And I already listen to kids and.
Yeah, there's always new secrets every couple of years.
Well, I know things have changed over the years. You know, nutrition slowly evolves and stuff. But when you get down to the nuts and bolts of training, it's pretty basic. You don't need to reinvent the wheel when it comes to doing a dumbbell press or a lat pull down, or you get these people putting little nuances on it. Like, I'm sure you see videos, Greg, where someone's like, my tricep here, I just want to work this bit here. I just want to bring this bit out. I'm like, well, how are you going to work that bit without working the rest of your tricep? You can't all, I just want to work this part here in my chest. Not this part, just this. I'm like, scientific. Just go train fucking chest. If it's going to grow, it's going to grow, okay?
Yeah. I was in the gym the other day too, and just a young fella come up to me and asked me for a few tips. And I said, just train frequently and eat.
Yeah.
That's it. Just you're young. That's it. Have fun. And I mean, I feel sorry for them too, because it's all about the internet. He said, well, I just finished up my bulk. Now this kid was 15 and 130 pounds. And he said, I just want to get ripped now. So do you have any advice for that? I said, just train frequently, have fun, and eat. You're 15 years old. Just have fun. Don't worry about bulk and cut and what you need to do. It's all out there so heavily that they just look at it and think that that's what this is about. Just train, have fun, and eat.
Rather than stick to a program and a diet for say 4 or 6 months, you can give someone a training program and a diet, and within a week or two, can I change it? Can I change it now?
Yeah.
I'm like, you haven't even been enough to get in from it all. I've actually I helped a guy get ready for a show once, and I did his diet and training, and his exact words were, "Oh, is that it? That's pretty basic." I'm like, well, what did you expect? Well, I thought it would have been more involved than that. I'm like, that's fucking lifting weight, it's eating clean, it's doing cardio. It's like, what did you expect? Well, I thought you pros would have done more than that. I'm like, we do the same as you. It's like when people say to me, Lee, what do you do for biceps? Yes, genetically I had the genetics to build good arms, but I'm like, I do the same as you. Barbell curl, dumbbell curl, preacher curl. I'm not doing barbell curls leaning to the left on one leg in the air. There's no secret to it. It's like, I do the same shit. It's like, there's no secret, people. That's what you do. It's just consistency, hard work, year after year, and just flogging it day after day. Like
except
you said, getting the meals.
Yeah. Except for Turk Builder, I think that might be a secret.
Which one?
Imagine if I had Turk Builder back in the day. I would have got a pro card 10 years earlier.
That would have been the secret.
100%.
I don't know. Enough, and then I see Johnny Bravo tell me it's a scam. I don't know what to believe anymore.
I know it's funny. They keep testing turkesterone that's fake turkesterone. They say it doesn't work, but they don't have turkesterone. It's proven that they haven't tried it. So what are you going to do? 20 years from now, everyone will look back and say I was right, but it's going to take some time.
And that's the thing with a lot of products as they've come out, and like some product might have come out years ago that might have been the same name but was crap. And now as things evolve, like I said, it's like with the whole kratom thing. Kratom back in the day, there was some that was mixed with other stuff causing problems, and you get the pure kratom. It's a whole different ball game. It's like my mother, she knew one of her friends, her son died because remember all that synthetic marijuana come out. He went to a cigarette shop, brought synthetic marijuana, and it killed him. So it's like, there's shit products out there. There's stuff out there that could say it's this, but it's not that. And it's like Greg said, if you actually have the real thing, it's different. You could have a bottle that could say it's the same thing, but it's not. It's a totally different mixture or product, or there's just shit in it,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, very good point. Very good point. Yeah. Again?
But the real question is, I'll bring it up because I talk to him a lot every now and then, is Mike O'Hearn natural? That's the question we need to know.
I don't think he's ever been natural. And just the other day, I saw a
Did you
video
see
where
that?
he said he's been bench pressing 405 for 45 years. And I did the math, and that means he was benching 405 at 10. I really don't think that's true.
Oh,
That's worse than
I'm-
525 18, Mike. Come on. Stop the bullshit.
Yeah, Mike, come on. At 10, man.
Now, if I said 525 at 10, I expect someone to call me out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
fair enough.
10 years old, I was playing Doctor Who, standing in my outside toilet thinking it was the TARDIS.
Did you see that video Mike just put out? Raising money
Oh,
or stealing money.
I was sitting on the side of the road, with the bucket
Yeah.
for Tren.
Yeah, I wrote a comment, something like, as if that would be enough money to afford the cycles he's on.
Nice.
That's for his son, I said. I told Mike it's for his son. He's getting him started early.
It's like the college fund. That's awesome. No.
Any more questions, Josh?
I've gone through all the ones that I have for you guys. For sure. Yeah, man. So before it gets any more awkward, I don't know if you guys are good. This was a blast.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, guys. This was awesome.
Yeah, great time.
Yeah.
Goodness. I've still got my day ahead of me. It's only 20 past 10 on Wednesday morning here in Australia. So,
Did you already train this morning?
yes, I went to the New World Gym up at not far from me, and I took a photo of the wall. I'm going to post it because I think there's one World Gym here. There's a Metroflex and another gym that have my mural on the wall. The New World Gym just opened up, and I just sent Jay a picture. I'm like, look at this cunt on the wall. Jay fucking Cutler never trained at a World Gym in his fucking life, and he's on the wall. Can't put Australian bodybuilders on the wall. They got Missy Triscott, Ronnie Coleman, and Jay Cutler. I'm like, great. My own city, and you can't even put my picture on the wall. I said, at least put me on the back of the toilet door with a phone number so I can make a bit of money. Put me near that little glory hole somewhere in the toilet there.
Yeah.
No, but the New World Gym actually has all that new Panada gear, and at the moment, because I've got like a few little tears here and there, it's actually not bad. Because on machines, at the moment, I actually got to the 30-kilo dumbbells the other day. I'm like, oh, wow, I'm coming back strong. But then I think, I used to warm up on this. So if I use free weights, mentally it fucks with me. So if I use machines, I get a pump, I'm okay. So the Panada gear at the moment, I'm just using the machines. I got nothing to compare it to on my old days. It's like the other day I was at the gym and they put on a YouTube clip. I turned around, it was me doing leg press on one of the Battle for the Olympias, and the leg press was loaded up. I happened to be doing leg press at the same time. I turn around, I got 5 plates each side, and I'm like, oh. And these young kids are like, we love this video, it's so inspirational. I'm like, well, I fucking hate it. I said, I got 5 plates.
Yeah, that would suck to see. Yeah.
My training partner, Ira there, there's Joe Gold. I said, 4 of my mates on this video are fucking dead. And I said, this is real fucking inspirational. I said, 4 dead mates, the machine's loaded up. I got 5 plates, my knee's hurting. I said, I'm fucking going home. Thanks for the workout.
Yeah.
I said, let me know when the video's over. I'll come back later.
Oh, man.
That stuff's very depressing. It motivates some people, but I looked at it and went, he's dead. Oh, fucking hell.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's kind of rough.
I know.
Damn.
That's why when I become Leanne next year, I'll be training solely at curves.
Well done. I look forward to seeing that.
Yeah, I can't wait to see Leanne's debut.
That'll be something to see.
Oh, who knows? If I look good enough, Greg might make a comeback, and we'll do the couples. We'll bring the couples back.
Oh yeah, I used to do
Yeah.
that. I used to compete in couples all the time.
What about that? They
Undefeated.
just stopped. They just stopped the couples.
I think that would be entertaining. I would.
Oh,
I remember
could definitely
used to
turn
have
some
Tony
heads.
Pearson and Carla Dunlap used to always do it. There was Anya Lang, I think she did it once, didn't she, with Barry DeMade? Like the couples used to be pretty good back in the day, and then they just cancelled it.
Yeah.
Well, they had it back in the day in the pros.
Yeah, they used to have it. Yeah, well,
Couples.
even like I said, that's when my mother got in shape because my mother wanted to do the couples with me. So when she got in shape, we were the first mother and son to win a couples title together in the world, and she continued on for another years. But I always said my mother was smarter because she quit and I kept going. So, but even back then, I was 17. My mother was 38. She got in shape. Lee Priest has got his mother on steroids. I'm like, I'm not even on him yet. What are you talking about? It's like.
Oh, before we go, Greg, I kind of want to. We usually ask everybody this question is about like your very, very first show. I know it was a while ago, and you've done so many, but do you remember that?
94, yeah. First show is memorable.
What was that like
I
for
got
you?
addicted after that.
Like
Well, I won junior lightweight. I remember losing the heavyweight. There was a guy that was like 204 pounds shredded. I was like 143. But I won my weight class and my age group. There was no bikini or men's physique. It was just bodybuilding. I loved it. I kept competing every year, usually 2 or 3 times a year after that, from 1994.
Did you do the Lanix right after that too, Greg?
Absolutely.
You did, yeah, because I remember
I
that.
think
I
Rene
remember that show.
Leger ended up winning, I think, that year. Rene Leger, I think, was the guy at the Atlantics.
I remember you did
I
the
did
Iron Man song for your posing routine.
Iron Man. Yeah, one of my years, maybe that was the year after. I can't remember. It
It was
wasn't
a
Iron
long
Man the
time ago.
first year. It might have been 96 that I did that song. I was in university then because my first show was in high school. And I think I posted whoop, whoop, there it is.
Nice.
Whoop, there it is. That was
Yeah.
the song. Yeah.
Nice.
Can you still do a backflip?
I did a backflip at Get Air or something, but it's kind of like a soft, whatever you want to call it. It's like kind of like almost like a trampoline. But I probably could do it, but I wouldn't want to risk it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's smart.
I'm assuming I could probably I'd probably have my hands land on the ground, but I think I could do it. But I haven't done it for a few years now. But I've gone to like those trampoline parks and jump where it's like a softer landing, and I've been able to do it still.
Nice.
Try it so we can do a video. Greg Doucette dislocates his shoulder doing backflip.
Oh my god, the scary thing would be like hurting my Achilles tendon or something. The landing. But ever since I had a hip operation, I used to land so deep in the backflip, but it would put such a pain. Anyway, it's a long description of the injury that I had, but if I land, it's very painful. So it's like it's not worth it for me.
I got nervous the other day. I was watching where it showed Missy after her operation, and Missy's like comeback doing all her stuff, and even she was doing her flips, and then I'm thinking, oh my god, just had that operation on the knee, and then I'm thinking, even if you feel stronger, just one little tweak landing the wrong way, and there it goes again. Because I always figured, once you've had something that severe happen, it just seems easier to re-injure it again once something's been operated on or something. I had a friend that dislocated his shoulder once doing dumbbell presses, and from that day on, every time he did anything overhead, his shoulder would just pop out. It was like weird.
Yeah, because I remember, Greg, you dislocated your tricep from like a bike crash.
I've done 2 bike crashes where I tore the elbow broke off where the tendon was attached to the bone, so that they reattached that healed fully.
Yeah.
The left tricep 90% got torn off, and they reattached it, but it didn't. I'll call it. It didn't fix. It didn't work. So I only have partial use of my left tricep, so my left arm is a lot smaller than my right. So this kind of put an end to all that kind of hopeful training. I just trying to do the best I can at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I used to hate bike riders. I want you to know, Greg, when I lived in Austin, Texas, that's when Lance Armstrong was still training for all the bikes and that. And where I lived was this big hill, and they used to train going up the hill and that. And I'd be out walking, doing cardio. And the height of these bike riders would pedal past me and go, steroids. I'm like, what? So then, a year or so later, when Lance finally got caught with steroids, I used to drive my car past the bike riders. Fucking steroids! I got my back.
Waiting for the day.
Exactly. I'll get
Got
you
my
one
revenge
day.
finally.
Yes. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, guys. I think that we'll call it. If you guys are good,
Yeah.
Yep.
Thanks a lot for coming by, guys.
it's getting late
We can
here.
talk to
Thank
these
you very
guys
much.
all night, but
Yeah, I
it
know.
is all. It's been a while.
Lee's got to get on with his day. So thanks for spending the morning with us.
I've done laundry. I've done that. That's the thing. I get up at 3:30, so by 10 o'clock, I'm like, you know, always done everything. What have I got to do for the rest of the day?
Awesome. Cool.
All right,
All
guys.
Beautiful
yeah,
home you have
man.
there, Greg, too.
Got proper professional lights on there. Jesus, he's got the proper one.
Yeah, look at that.
We're doing the.
I got
Behind the
a
scenes.
fucking. I got a cheap
Are we going to your
library,
garage?
hi-fi.
What's that?
Are we going into your garage?
I'm
There's
actually
my
taking
old-
us on breakfast.
Taking us on a
We have
tour.
garage.
Andy, yours is nice too.
Andy has a nice
little
yeah.
hotel room.
I like the lights you got down there on the floor. Shoot.
My fancy lighting.
You should get a
Light
job
on
with
you.
George Lucas lighting the movie sets like that. Jesus.
Collection in the back here. I don't know if you can see any of it, but
You're kind of frozen. Oh, there it is. You're a
there
little choppy.
Oh,
Oh man,
Jesus.
what's your favorite?
All of them.
the McLaren.
Oh, you weren't asking me? Okay.
I asked to do
That.
this podcast I asked Greg if we could do the podcast in the car, but that didn't really work.
That's
Yeah,
a nice color. I like that. I had a car that color, the orange and black, great combination.
That is nice.
Combination.
We
I'm
could
actually
do-
podcast this car.
I'm
we
selling
could do bodybuilders in the car, go for a drive, and talk about bodybuilding.
Yeah.
Well, I got the old classic cars. I got my nice old '68 Camaro, but I'm thinking of selling it and going back to the military Hummer just so I can crash into fuckwits on the road.
So
Just
right
got the meal
now,
prep
so
already done.
are you having that now?
Looked like some food. What was he eating there? What did he got there,
Like
Greg?
potatoes?
I haven't eaten supper. I got one more meal to eat. So, yeah, I was saying I got everything cooked in advance.
Nice. Oh, but he doesn't.
Are you
cook
in
it.
that big house all by yourself?
What's that?
I said, are you in that great big house all by yourself?
I got a chef that lives in the basement. I let her out once in a while.
There you go.
Well done.
Let her out for some sunshine and a little bit of air.
Her chain long enough to make it up to the back door and back down. That's it.
Shock collar.
So people that are
Well, okay,
watching this,
Greg,
it's people that are watching this. It's like
Greg's fridge and my fridge. If I went to my fridge now and took out what I'm going to heat up, it's a box of leftover Kentucky. Greg's got the healthy food. I got the Kentucky chicken. Hey, it's still chicken. Come on, it's just like a keto diet.
At the end of the day,
Still
it's
protein.
still chicken.
It's chicken and fat. It's the Atkins diet, I call it still.
What were you going to say, Josh?
oh, I was just gonna say like people that are watching this. It's 9:30 at night where Greg is right now. Just so like you gotta eat, right? You gotta do it. You gotta get it in.
Well, I did a bike race this
Exactly.
afternoon, so I'm obviously still hungry. I'm just
For sure.
burning off a lot of calories.
And again, I'm the opposite. Greg burned 1,000 calories. I was at the gym yesterday. I'm on the treadmill. And as I'm on the treadmill, outside of the gym's McDonald's on the other side of the car park. So I look down at the treadmill. I've burnt 250 calories. I go to McDonald's and eat a 1,500. So I don't think I'm getting ahead. My waist is getting wider for some reason.
Awesome. Cool. All right, guys. We'll let Greg go eat, I guess.
Very cool. He's just traveling with his phone around. He's fine.
Yeah.
Forget what Greg's eating right now. It
He's
can
used.
be found on page
He's used to
64
that.
of his cookbook. That's on page 64 of his cookbook, that recipe.
Yeah. Oh, this is good stuff.
Greg, hey, Greg, what's the supplement you get? It says harder than last time. It's a. I think I've seen that on Instagram. It's a Viagra one.
Harder than last time. It's literally to get you harder than last time.
Really?
I was thinking about sponsoring Johnny Sims for it.
Interesting.
But didn't work out.
Oh.
No, it's literally for sexual bedroom performance.
Can you? Does it work? Does it work the same with your hand?
With your hand.
If you're just with yourself, he's trying to say.
You've been married for a while and you take one of those pills and the other party doesn't want to come to play, so you got to take care of business by yourself again.
It's definitely for help.
But even at my age now, I give it a couple of strokes. I'm like, oh fuck, I'm too tired. Fuck this.
It's not worth it.
Then I feel dirty. I got to go. I go sit in the shower in the fetal position, cry because I feel like I abuse myself. So I don't too much to go through. I can't do it anymore.
You gotta be careful. It's got to get careful of the scar tissue.
I know.
Well,
did you just have gravy on that? Is that gravy I saw, Greg, going on there?
Yeah, canned gravy. I put it on everything. I put it on corn. I put it on potatoes, rice, chicken, steak. I love it. It's one of my diet hacks.
What kind?
Just canned gravy. It's really
low calorie, right? Yeah.
What's that?
I get the same. Really low in calories. I use the same one.
Absolutely. I've been doing this for 20 years. It's like the secret sauce. It's before you had all these low calorie stuff. I was into the gravies.
Interesting.
That's why I'm wrong. On my corn and potatoes and all that, I used to put butter. That's why I went wrong. Fuck.
Yeah. When I was a kid, I remember butter.
Yeah.
I remember when you were dieting and what's its name finally come out. I can't believe it's not butter. I used to spray that shit on everyone. God knows what was in it. Full of chemicals. Like, oh, it's great.
Yeah, I got tricked by all these little things like Molly McButters, the butter spray, 0 calories. And you look at the ingredients, it's like 0 calories because they round down to 0. Meanwhile, it's all oil. I put 50 sprays on my popcorn.
When Edmonds brought out the cakes and the cookies, 0 fat, and you eat the whole cake and it's like 13,000 grams of carbs, but it doesn't matter because it's 0 fat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like some of the videos that you've done, Greg, when you're like in the grocery store, like calling out, going through the ingredients and like doing comparisons and shit. Those were pretty good.
I've done those back in the day. I just don't get as many views anymore. So I'm kind of motivated by what people are going to watch.
Fair enough.
Just like no one gives a shit about watching me train the gym.
No.
So I don't do that. I'm like, they're way more work for little return. I can get more views sitting and reacting to somebody talking about training in the gym than I can training in the gym myself. So I just don't bother.
Yeah, fair.
But do you find, Greg, when they ask you to do that, and I get asked all the time, Lee, do an arm workout. Like, there's a million of my arm workouts online. I do the same thing now. The only thing is I look fucking older. I look more shit. And it's like, but the workout is exactly the same. So why do you want to see me do the same movements that I've been doing for 30 odd years? It's boring. It's like barbell curl. Here's Lee, 20 years old. Here's 40 years old. I'm still doing the same shit. So it's like, they're boring.
Yep.
I like watching the old videos, Greg, from when you're doing your contests and stuff, and you video that, like your peak weeks and stuff. When I'm on prep, that's what I kind of go to, that older stuff, and it's still pretty good.
Yeah, those are good. It's like and I'm obviously can't contest prep now, so it's once it's done, it's done. It's like, go watch what I did.
Yeah. It's still pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Well.
Yeah. All right, guys.
Sounds good.
Well, I think we'll try to call it again for the third time.
We're going now. No, you hang up. You hang up. You hang up. No,
I was like. Yeah,
I'm just
guys.
going to go to sleep with the phone right here. You hang up.
Have a great day, Lee. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
Really enjoyed
Yeah.
it. Really enjoyed it, gentlemen.
I'll go eat my supper.
All right,
Yeah.
boys.
It was a great one.
Yeah, man. Thanks,
Thanks,
Greg.
Greg.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Lee.
Won't see anyone at the Olympia, but I hope I will be at the Arnold again. So I hope to see you at the Arnold.
All right.
Nice.
Sounds great.
Awesome.
Sounds good.
Thanks, Lee. Thanks, Greg.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Yeah. See you guys.
Yeah.
Take care.